My name is Brianna Sinclair. I am a transgender woman of 1 year as of right now. But today is the first day I have been on hormones, and I just picked them up yesterday. It is the 25th of May and of 2024. My prescription has been in since December of 23, and I have just gotten cleared to start taking my hormones. I'm on spironolactone and estradiol. I take 2 pills of each. I take one twice a day, and the other one I take once a day, but I take 2 of each. You might see my cat running around here. He's over there. Fendi. That's Fendi. He's a little booger sometimes, but that's my cat. So, yeah, hello. The next step in my process is to also start fully living like a woman at work, and I have to route even more paperwork for that, but I'm still excited to do it. I'm not trying to make anybody at work feel uncomfortable because I understand I'm very unique in this, because it's a very rare journey. Most people's sex and gender align almost immediately, so they're used interchangeably in their cases. In my case, I am not. But hey, booger. So yes, I am a biological male. However, I identify as a female. I have 2 full-time jobs. This is just kind of something I'm doing for myself to document my journey, and so I can look back on them and see how far I've come. I don't know what the finished product will look like whenever I'm done, but my wife seems to think it'll be wonderful, and I hope so. Oh. But yes, I just picked up my hormones the day I got cleared. Well, the day after, because the pharmacy closed moments before I was able to get there. If I had driven, got a call saying that I was able to start picking up my hormones and I could start taking them, and I picked them up that very next day because they were going to close in minutes of me arriving there. And I picked them up yesterday morning and started taking them. I took my first set with my wife, and she was so excited. I was excited too, to be honest with you. I was a little scared, but I was excited at the same time. It's weird. It's something so little. And I was terrified to do it because I knew everything from this point is going to be different. But I don't want anything to change. I just want to be more of myself instead of having to hide all the time. But the next step is for me to route the next set of paperwork that I can start wearing female clothes at work, at one of them at least. My other job, they don't care. We have an interesting dress code that we have to abide by. Each one has a different dress code, but one of my full-time jobs is pretty fun. And that's the one that doesn't care. The other one, I have to route my paperwork, but they're also the ones paying for my medication, so I'm trying to make sure that the female coworkers I do have are comfortable, because what I do there affects how other transgender women will be affected from here on out. So I act as a liaison, essentially. And as much as I would love to be able to just fully do what I want as a woman and live the exact same way, I don't want to make the journey harder for other transgender women, because mine has already been hard enough. My anxiety has been ridiculous. And I've been dealing with my dysphoria as much as possible. without causing too much of a fuss. I was driving my superiors crazy with me asking them, like, have you heard anything about my paperwork? And I've had to route it and reroute it, and I finally got everything back and was able to start taking my medication. It's weird because I know that it can't be the medication, but as of right now, I just feel elated. I've been noticeably happier at my work, at my job, because I'm on my hormones now, and only a couple people really know that. But before I even got my diagnosis, I was in therapy for several months, and then after I got my diagnosis, I was just having to get through my paperwork and stuff like that, and that took, gosh, almost 6 months, I think, maybe a little more. Because I've had my diagnosis since like October, maybe September of 2023, and now it's 2024, and I am finally starting hormones. I am excited to start and see where everything goes. What I'm looking for as far as like my transition is I plan to have FFS, my breast augmentation, and BBL. I don't plan to have SRS as of right now. It's a little bit too far for me, and I know a lot of other transgender women are going to be upset about that, but I'm just not comfortable with that yet, at least. My wife didn't want it either initially, but she now does, and I love her for who she is, so I don't care. I couldn't care less. I love her for her mind, not her body. And I know she loves me that way too, because she's still with me. Even though I'm changing physically, it's going to be a long ride. I can't start medically transitioning until a year out. So a year from now, I hope to have my my FFS scheduled, and yeah, I think I've been trying to do hair removal on my face because I have very dark hair. And I started with electrolysis, and we started on my neck, and started to work our way up. I'm taking a little break right now because I have this knot that's formed on my neck that I'm waiting to go away because I don't want to agitate it anymore. But I'm hoping that I can do laser hair removal and get rid of the bulk of it, because the results are faster. They're not necessarily better because the hair can still come back. After, and I expect to do voice training along the way, because I know I sound very, very manly right now. And after the voice training, I'm hoping everything will be a lot better. But the paperwork I'm writing is called an exception to policy, and that's allowing me to abide by female dress standards, because as of right now I have to abide by male dress standards, and that means I can't grow out my hair or anything like that, and I wouldn't want to grow out my facial hair, but there isn't really a standard for like facial hair for females, but I wouldn't want that anyway. I would much rather have that just gone. And that means I can start painting my nails and stuff like that. Don't judge me because my nails are nowhere near done. I don't have any press-ons, and they're my very manly hands. I don't plan on editing this video because this is mostly for me. I do kind of plan on posting it to YouTube because I know I'm not the only one out there who was as terrified to come out as I was. I'm still kind of easing everybody into it. I haven't told my parents yet. There's only like a couple people that know. My roommate does because he drove me to go pick up my medication. My wife does because we were together whenever I took my first pills. I told one of my coworkers because I was just excited to tell her, and I told another coworker because she asked, kind of. She noticed I was very happy, and I came out and told her I started taking my medication. She asked me about my pronouns and stuff, and I told her I don't care because whenever I present feminine, it'll be obvious. I've worn makeup to one of my jobs before because they don't care. It's actually a makeup store. And people do call me she occasionally. They get really, really upset whenever they figure it out. Not upset as in like they're mad, but they feel like they've offended me whenever they say she, and I don't care because I don't feel like I have the right to, because I'm still figuring things out, and I'm not trying to make things harder or start anything political, especially in my deep south town. Oh, hey buddy. He wants attention. Alright, come here. His name is Vandy. He's my little buddy. He sleeps with me at night, and yeah. So that's pretty much it. None of my managers know yet. My superiors at my other job, they're fully aware because they've been fighting for me to start for months now, and I appreciate that. Anyway, this is all I really wanted to talk about because this is my first day and this is completely unscripted. I don't even have like a little note sheet. I just kind of came in here and wanted to do it and see where it went. I plan to do videos on like my experience as far as like BBL and stuff like that, so that other people can be just as prepared. My wife kind of helped me get a set of like dream doctors she would want me to go to, and she wants me to do FFS with Dr. Peter Raphael. My BBL with Dr. Dolbeck, who is in Florida. She's prior Navy. She's known as the BBL Queen down there. And she would like me to do my breast augmentation with Dr. Metcalf in Oklahoma, who is very good. Stop that. I think one of my jobs is going to try and make me do my FFS with somebody else, because I've already called and tried to see if I could do my FFS with Dr. Peter Raphael, and none of the doctors I called will actually take the insurance that I have, because the surgeries are expensive and I don't have the money out of pocket. And I'm not doing this to make money. This is actually just to educate people and to document my journey. In a couple years from now, this might not even be applicable to anybody anymore, because the world might have changed. It's always changing. But the results of my wife's doctors were great. She's went to several people. She's met a lot of big names, and she does drag, and I'm very proud of her and everything that she does. I know she's proud of me, and I look forward to many, many years with her. Yeah. Since it's my first day, I haven't been able to notice any changes. I do know I feel a little bit more like happy, which is phenomenal. And I know that's not the medication, because I do know it is supposed to widen your emotional range. I just feel like since I've only taken it 3 times, it can't possibly be the medication as of yet. Ew, biting me? Booger. But since I am so happy, I'm excited to see what my emotional range turns into. I have, interestingly enough, started crying a lot. Not a lot, but a little bit more noticeable, at least in my opinion, and that might just be because I've been watching like a bunch of like heartfelt videos where people would like do wonderful things for each other, or like something really sad where I would feel bad for one of the people, because I would know that I know how they feel in some cases. Other cases, I would put myself in their shoes, and I can't help feel but the way that they feel, because it's terrible sometimes what people can do to each other, but most of the time, I feel like we're good to each other. As for my dosages, I don't think I'm on very high dosages, which is good, because I know you're supposed to ease into it, because I'm taking them orally. And I know it's hard on your liver initially, and you'd want to ease your way into your hormone changes. I know people who do self-medicate occasionally overdo it, and that's very bad for your body and very bad for your liver, and I'm hoping to switch over to injections in the future, because it's a lot easier on your liver, because it essentially bypasses your liver, as far as I know, and I don't want my journey to shorten the lifespan that I have, and I don't want to take what I have to offer away too soon from the world. But I take my spironolactone twice a day, and I take my estradiol once a day. My estradiol I take in the morning, both pills, and my spironolactone I take twice a day, and I take 1 pill every 12 hours. So the changes I've noticed right now can't be anything really, because it's been 24 hours and change. It's been like 30 hours. So if you're looking for this and looking through this and expecting like immediate changes, I'm sorry to disappoint. I do know it does take time. A lot of time in some cases, years in other cases, because you're essentially going through another puberty, and it took you years to get through yours if you've already gone through it. If you haven't, it does take years to get through puberty. So in some cases it will take years. I don't expect a whole lot of changes, because I'm pretty much built like a woman as it is. My family doesn't have a very large bust size, so I don't expect too much growth in there either. The this might be all I get. So, it be what it be. I do expect to lose a lot of my muscle mass, and I expect my arms to be a lot less veiny because I'm very, very veiny, and I don't have a whole lot of strength as it is. Usually if something doesn't go my way, I brute force it into submission sometimes. This is kind of how it's been described to me. But I can't wait for that year to pass and for me to finally have my FFS. I do want FFS first because my face is what bothers me the most. My Adam's apple is huge. I do have a very prominent brow. I can see it now as I even look in the video. My nose doesn't bother me too much, but I would like it a little smaller. I would like a little lip lift because I don't have pouty lips. They're very thin and they're very thin. We'll just leave it at that. They're not great. And I would like my little eyelid lift because I have a lot of tissue between my eyelids and my brows. A forehead lift, or a hairline reduction, I don't know about because my forehead's pretty large as it is. If anything, they'll have to push it back. Because of just the way it is, as far as that's what my wife says. I'm excited to finally remove all my facial hair because then I won't have to color correct because I suck at it. Very clearly. I'm not great at makeup. I'm still pretty new, but I've been learning a lot at the makeup store I work at, and I've been trying to absorb everything like a sponge and be as good as I can. I'm getting to the point where I can do makeup better than some of the girls, and I'm learning a lot. What I have learned is that makeup is a choose-your-own adventure. This is where I ended up tonight. And I color corrected. I used foundation and eyeshadow and blush and bronzer. These are my skills right now. Very basic, very, very little. My eyeliner's not on point, but it's there, and I still have very thick eyebrows. I hope to figure out how to do those one day soon. My expectations for the channel I'm starting are nil. I don't expect it to be super political. I don't expect it to be a whole pot. I was wanting to start this months ago, and it kind of be like a little sewing channel. But it's kind of turning into a documentation of my journey. I would like for it to be both, though. If you'd like to see more of either, comment which one you would like to see, and I'll see what I can do. I don't sew a whole lot right now because I'm really busy with 2 full-time jobs, but I have made some really fun things. I've made a tote bag, I've made an eyeglasses case, I've made shorts, a t-shirt, 2 dresses. I made a bralette, which was terrible because the fabric for a bralette is very niche and it doesn't like to stay still. I made some M&M costumes for a pageant, and those came out okay. They didn't come out great because I've never had to work with what I had to work with. I had to work with felt and foam. I'm very new to both. Felt was very basic to even get into. The foam, not so basic, let me tell you. And then I had to figure out how to make the people inside see, because there were 4 of them. And because they were being judged, I was just happy that they didn't cost any points. They came out very good, and watching them, some pictures were taken and I could see all the flaws, and I am my own biggest critic. I know where the flaw is on everything I sew. I've given some people advice on sewing as far as like little things here and there. I tried to take commissions for a little bit, but nobody wanted to get back to me with their measurements and stuff like that. So I'm not butthurt about it. I just do it for fun. I like little DIY projects. And I guess I am my own DIY project right now. I plan to do a video on like why I came out and what steered me in this direction. And my wife being transgender had nothing to do with it. She did show me some things, and it was weird because a lot of those applied to me, and that was a start. But when I say a lot, I mean like one or two. I've got a huge list of things that I should have known prior to, and even prior to even jumping into my marriage, because I know it's been a hard journey for her, because I came out to her and she didn't like it because she is very much attracted to boys, and that was basically me telling her I'm not a boy anymore, but I wanted to go at her pace. There's still a good chance that my relationship will end, but I want her to be happy as much as possible, and I have no right to keep that from her. If I'm the problem, I need to go. Everybody deserves to be happy, and that's it. That's all that can be said. Everybody deserves to be happy. I'm not gonna be shy about my surgeries and stuff like that, because a lot of people ask because they don't know. They don't know what most of us go through, and I've been through my wife's entire journey. And so I know better than most how it goes. A lot of my friends, whenever I told them I am transgender, they started asking me questions like, am I gonna get it cut off or anything like that, and I had to explain to them that they don't cut it off. That's not what they do. And I basically explained to them the process. I explained to them what I wanted, the process for SRS, because that's the one people think is the most niche. Breast augmentation is done for many people. And so there's a lot of like theory to practice in it. FFS is a lot of little procedures that many get done. And SRS is a very niche one. A BBL, I would assume, is slightly less common than a breast augmentation. I don't know, but I would assume that the breast augmentation would be the one done more often. And FFS and SRS are usually associated with transgender women because they're overarching terms that define what turns a boy into a girl usually. And a lot of people like justify transgender women as like, oh, she's had the surgery, she is definitely a woman. I don't fully agree with that, because I don't plan to have SRS, but I definitely identify as a woman. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. Um, but I think that as long as you're respectful about it and that you're actually taking the steps, because some of us transition without hormones, some of us transition with only hormones. I feel like as long as there are steps taken, you can identify however you want. In a way, just be respectful about it, because what you do affects the future generations for those of you coming behind. Like, I'm not gonna walk into the women's bathroom and just sit down as of right now, because that would be weird for them, and they're gonna have this notion that all transgender women are like that. As much as I would want to be able to do that, I'm not going to, because I feel right now it is disrespectful and an insult to their intelligence. They know right now that I'm a boy, and I don't want to cause any more problems for the transgender women that are going to follow my journey. That's the biggest gift I have, is to not make the journey any harder. There are entire countries that are essentially gatekeeping it to where it is almost impossible to do. And on top of that, there is also the incredible discrimination and danger that opposes us whenever we even start. I started wearing makeup a couple months back, and I've already almost been hit by a car just trying to go to the grocery store. I wasn't even in the store yet. That's a whole nother story. It's not a happy one, but it doesn't affect me at all, because it's over. And I know a lot of other women have had it worse. Nobody has it worse than the African American transgender women out there, because not only do they have to deal with racism, they have to deal with what I deal with. I am very privileged in that fact, and I am aware of that. And I don't need to make it harder on my end, because I know how hard it is to transition. And the country I'm in now, some of the individual states are passing laws to make it harder. I am fortunate enough to not be in a state like Florida where you have to go, you are designated to go into your assigned spaces. I know many Florida women that would be uncomfortable with a transgender woman walking into the men's bathroom, because some of us are beautiful. My wife is one of those. She's gorgeous to me. Even without makeup, even without anything she does to make herself beautiful, she's gorgeous to me. And a lot of people would agree with me. Maybe one day she'll join me on one of these videos. We'll see. And you guys will finally get to meet her. But until then, I'm going to make videos of me sewing and documenting my transition and seeing where it goes. I would like for it to not go political, but if it does, it does. I'm just going to give my opinion on anything. I don't care. My opinion is my own. And most of it comes out of respect for those around me. And that is Brianna Sinclair, signing off.